All right. Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Today, me and Abhi are here to give you the pregame preview for the Seattle versus Washington football game, Seahawks versus Washington football team that's happening on Monday, November 29th. So let's start off with Abhi talking about Seattle, the Seahawks, how they're going to do, players, everything. I'll give you the info on the Washington football team, and then we'll just go into some casual conversation on who's going to win, who's going to lose, whatever. So why don't you start, Abby?
Yeah, going into this game, for the Seahawks, especially what's going to be important is the offensive line holding and trying to protect Russell Wilson. We saw last week that Russell Wilson wasn't fully at 100%. We need to slowly get him back, and hopefully he's better this week. So the offensive line really needs to protect him and do their job. And then the defense took a huge blow last week, losing Trey Brown. So that's a season-ending injury. He's gonna have to go through a surgery, which is not good for the Seahawks secondary because he was really a bright spot in that secondary, really making some key plays on third down and fourth if the teams went for it, which the Seahawks really struggle with. They do really good on the first two downs, and then they kind of lose momentum a little bit on third downs. And Trey Brown was a very key player. And then other injuries are Damian Lewis is out for this game. He had a elbow injury. Rashad Penny is out with a hamstring. That's going to be tough and interesting to see, while Alex Collins takes the majority of the snaps. Travis Homer is also out with a calf injury. So we're going to have to see how the Seahawks do with just Alex Collins pretty much at running back. And then, like I said before, Russell Wilson is coming back from injury. That's going to be important to think about and keep in mind. So, and then also the wide receivers need to help Russell Wilson out and get open. Like, they've been pretty much locked down for the past couple weeks. And getting them open and changing the scheme a little bit would really help the Seahawks, in my opinion.
Alrighty, so yeah, I agree with you, Abby, on that. The receivers have been doing pretty bad recently, honestly. And Geno Smith, he's been using his receivers a lot. You know, he's been passing it out. But in the Packers game, we saw that Russell Wilson was trying to keep the ball more, get in the pocket, get out of the pocket, running around. Something he needs to work on. And that's one of the main things on offense that'll help us start doing better. All right. So for the Washington football team, we have a couple injuries which are pretty significant. Curtis Samuel, one of the receivers, and Adam Humphries, both of them are questionable for tomorrow's game. And Chase Young, their defensive star, is injured, sadly, on the IR. Their tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones, is also doubtful. And then they have two offensive linemen, their center, and another offensive lineman who are out for this week. Very sad. Offensively, as we have Taylor Heineke playing for quarterback. We have Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick, who are going to be playing for their running backs. And J.D. McKissick is a player that was on our team not too long ago, so it'll be fun seeing him play for the other team now. Running backs, or those are the running backs. For wide receivers, we have Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries, who are both questionable for tomorrow's game. And then we have Terry McLaurin, honestly, one of my favorite receivers in the league, who's playing. And then their tight end is Logan Thomas. Their defense is pretty much the same. I think the only injury they have is Chase Young, which is very sad, but that's it. So who do you think is going to win today? Santosh? Or it's not Santosh, Abhi?
Yeah. So going into tomorrow, like I said before, the receiver, everybody needs to do their job, and then that will like really help the team. Because if one person is just loafing, the Washington football team is a very like good football team if you let them. So if the Seahawks can keep the foot on the gas, just keep going and going, that would be really good. But if they let off like in the third quarter, like they have been, that's just going to be detrimental. Also, the secondary is going to have a tough challenge. And I also think that Russell Wilson needs to spread the ball out more. Like he needs to throw to DK Metcalf or give him targets, even if he seems like covered, because he's a big target. So yeah, and
Yeah.
also I read somewhere that Pete Carroll might be changing the offense for this game a little bit.
Hopefully, man. I really hope he
Hopefully,
does. It's been really sad to watch recently.
Yeah, definitely, and
A little bit
yeah,
more info for the Washington team. They've won their past two games, and both of them were against the Panthers and the Buccaneers. And that is a huge win. The Buccaneers won
yeah.
29 to 19. It's crazy. So something to watch out for. Yes, they've had their share of blowouts, against the Chiefs, against the Ravens, against the Bills, but overall they've been staying pretty close to the teams that they've been going up against. They lost
But I
by
also feel like
9.
that, like they kind of take the blame off themselves because they won against the Buccaneers, which is
Yeah,
not a small feat to do. So
that's pretty good. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, since Taylor Heineke took over, they've been doing really well, and he's honestly one of the really good quarterbacks in the league. Um,
yeah. But
yeah,
I think Seahawks have a chance if they can like kind of change up the scheme a little bit. The defense has been playing good, in my opinion. They've been doing their job getting off the field. The offense just needs to stay on the field and score more.
yep.
But yeah, I
Since
think they have a
Wilson,
chance. Yeah.
since Wilson has come back through 2 games, we've only scored 1 touchdown, and that was against the Cardinals. Just
Yeah.
not that great.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we can turn that around. Some key matchups today. Santosh, you want to, or Abhi, you want to start?
Yeah. So the key matchups are going to be the for the Washington cornerbacks. Their cornerbacks are currently Kendall Fuller and William Jackson. Depending on who's on DK Metcalf, that's going to be a large part on what DK Metcalf can get out of like the short plays, like 5 yards, 6 yards. Those short plays are going to be important in my opinion. And hopefully Tyler Lockett can get open and get the passing game moving. Yeah. What about you? What do you think about the matchups for defense?
I think that one more thing that we should watch, another key matchup, is the Washington defensive line and pretty much their entire defense, apart from their cornerbacks, versus our O line and our quarterback, Russell Wilson, who haven't been doing that well recently. That's like, I would say that's the main reason we've been losing. Our defense is looking a bit more promising than it was start of the season.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And also
Another matchup to watch out
yeah.
for in the for the cornerbacks versus the Seahawks receivers. Dwayne B. Eskridge is coming back. He was back last week too, but not that significant. So, I mean, if he plays a bit more snaps, which he probably will, then that's the hint that Pete Carroll was giving about changing the offensive plan. I think then he'll make a significant contribution too. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have to keep in mind the Seahawks took Dwayne Eskridge in the draft as that gadget guy, the guy that's gonna do the end arounds, do the fly sweeps, do the jet actions and all that. all the trickery in the backfield. So, and we've not been doing that at all.
I don't think we've
Actually.
done any trick plays this season. I mean, like
Yeah,
very
yeah.
few.
I mean, and
So that's
Dwayne Eskridge
yeah.
has the speed. He can get
He has the
outside.
speed. He has the agility.
Yeah.
He's a really good receiver. We're just not using him enough.
Yeah. We're only using him in the kickoff return, which you could, but then again, he should be in the backfield trying to move the defense around, get them off sides, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another thing about the Seahawks is we officially have 3 players that are competing for the Pro Bowl. And that's going to be our punter, Michael Dixon, Nick Ballore on the special teams unit, and Bobby Wagner from our defense, who is leading our second in tackles for this season, which is really good.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby Wagner is always going to be a cornerstone of the defense. And he has been playing at a high level.
I might be wrong. I think Quandre Diggs is also a nominee for the Pro Bowl.
So,
yeah. Last season, though, in a Pro Bowl that wasn't even played, we had Russell Wilson, who I don't think is going to happen this year. We had Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, Metcalf, Nick Ballore, and I think Michael Dixon was also there. But we had quite a few last season, not as many this season.
Oh, yeah. We also had Jason Myers last year.
Jason
Myers, he hasn't been playing to the same level as he has last year. Hopefully he can get back to his winning ways. But that's it for us. We hope you enjoyed this video of Hawk Talk. Hopefully the Seahawks can pull out.
One more thing. Who do you think is gonna win? Who do you think is gonna win?
I said the Seahawks are gonna win, man.
Seahawks are gonna win. How much?
I think it's gonna be. It could either go 2 ways. It could be like a massive blowout, or it could be like a really down to the wire game. And I think it's going to lean more on the down to the wire. So it's going to probably be like 17-20, win by a field goal type of game. What do you think?
I think that it's going to be a Seahawks win. But it's going to be
Seahawks are going to win. That's what I was going to say.
Obviously. The Seahawks are going to win, but it's going to be insanely close. Pete Carroll's hint of a different offense is going to be mostly more passing. And that's something that the Washington football team also does a lot of, to be honest. They have Scary Terry. They have Logan Thomas. So it's going to be a pretty close one, mostly through the air. We'll see very minimal ground action since we don't have that many good running backs playing. Yeah. But it's going to be really, really close.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today, guys. As always, go Seahawks. See ya.
Yeah.
Go Hawks.